Hello everybody! So recently I have joined the Boys and Girls Club of America, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically where you go and create an account and you can do a bunch of activities online that you do at your house to earn badges and stuff. So for example, you can do a green screen one where you can do some green screen and editing stuff, and when you're done with your green screen thing, you can submit it to one of the leaders. Or there's also one where you do coding, so you code a game and then you send it to the leaders and you can earn badges and points from it. So I love slime, so I am doing a slime one. So as you can see, it says slime challenge. Create bouncy or stretchy slime. This is what their slime looks like. It says their total time is going to be 43 minutes. That's kind of exact. And look, 7,007 members already did this activity. That's cool. And the skills it's hoping to develop are design thinking, experimentation, investigating, and problem solving. And then we're going to go right to the steps. It says all the ingredients you'll need to make. So step one is obviously to create your slime. So first I need to go get the materials. Alright everyone, I collected all the ingredients that the recipe told me to collect. As you can see, I got all of those. So they're all over here. And so this is what the general slime recipe is. 1 bottle or 4 ounces of glue, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 tablespoons of contact solution. And that's all it says. It doesn't show you how much salt or cornstarch you have to add. And that's because you're going to do that on your own. So the point of this challenge is to see if you want to see if you can make the stretchiest slime or the bounciest slime possible. And you are going to create that by adding however much ingredient you think is best. So, but of course, to start off, we got to add our general ingredients. You will need some contact solution, and if you don't have contact solution, you can simply make a borax mix, which is what I did. And to make that, you just need a 1/4 teaspoon of warm water, and a 1/4 cup of warm water, and a 1/4 teaspoon of borax. You're gonna need some glue. You're gonna need some baking soda. You're gonna need some cornstarch, salt, and water. And of course, your bowl and mixing spoon. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so like I said, we have to add 4 ounces of glue, which is equal to half a cup. I'm just going to fill up this half cup of glue, because I don't actually have a bottle. I just have a gigantic thing of it. I love how the glue just gloops out so slowly. Whew. This glue jug is getting heavy. Alright, I better pour it fast, but ooh, man, I have too much glue in here. My fingers need a break. Got my glue? Now we just add it in. Ooh, I've never actually measured glue before, but I do have to follow the recipe pretty specifically, because if I make my slime too big, then that technically doesn't count, because I'm hoping to make the stretchiest slime possible. But if my slime is bigger than everyone else's, then it's obviously going to stretch farther, so that's cheating. Alright, now I'm going to take my scraper, scrape out all of the remaining glue. There we go. Next, we have to add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm sorry, did I say a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda? I meant to say a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Anyway, it doesn't matter now. I got my baking soda. Just gonna open it up. Get her 1/2 teaspoon. It was so funny to measure things, because normally you do not have to measure in a slime, but like I said, we gotta be pretty exact with this recipe. There we go. Let's add it in and give it a mixie. Alright, so obviously our slime just looks like plain glue right now. But of course, as we add our more and more ingredients, it's going to look better. Now, we're going to add activator or your borax mixture. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of this one. All right. It's hard to get a scoop out of this. There we go. Plop. And then we need 1 more tablespoon. Oh man, that was hard to get out. Okay, I'm just gonna pour it in. There we go. All right, I added my 2 tablespoons of contact solution / activator, whatever you want to call it. And now you mixy and it should start turning into slime. I just started mixing mine and it's already starting to slime a bit. Now normally with activator I just add like the smallest amount just to see like to make sure I don't add enough, but I just decided to go with the 2 tablespoons it told me to add. So that's pretty cool. I never usually do that. Alright, got my hands in there already, as you can tell. I'm just going to incorporate all this borax, knead it up, try to make it a little more slimy, and I actually never realized how small this slime was going to be. Like, look at how small this is. Alright everyone, I've mixed up my slime and it's, well, sliming a bit more. And I think I mixed it as much as I can. However, there is one big problem. It feels overactivated. Yeah, I probably should have just added a little bit of activator at a time, but you know what? Maybe something will fix that. The cornstarch, the salt, and we're gonna add some water too. So this is where you can get creative and add however much you think is right for your stretchy or bouncy slime. So mine is overactivated, so I'm gonna try and add enough of the ingredient to try and make it more like less overactivated and pretty stretchy, because I'm hoping to get myself a pretty stretchy slime by the end of this. Alright, I really hope I'm doing this right. I think I'm gonna go with like half a teaspoon of cornstarch. Actually, maybe 1 teaspoon, because you know, what have you got to lose? So I'm just gonna do 2 half teaspoons. 1 and 2. Okay, I've added it in, and now I gotta go and mix it up. Well, I think I've added a little bit too much cornstarch because it feels pretty weird, but you know what? It's stretchy, which is really weird because I don't know how cornstarch just makes slime stretchy all of a sudden, but it did make it stretchy. But we have a problem. The slime, it's not really connecting together anymore because of the cornstarch, but you know what? We don't really need it to. All I need to make it do is make it stretch. I mean, if I really try to squish it to a little ball, it connects a little bit, kind of. But whatever, we can't worry about that anymore because now we have to add the salt. But how much should I add? Okay, so since I added too much cornstarch last time, I think I'm gonna add like maybe half a teaspoon of salt instead of a full teaspoon, because I don't want any disasters with my slime. All right, let's hope that's good. All right. I don't think the salt is making too much of a difference in my slime. Maybe I just need to mix it a bit better. To be honest, adding the salt doesn't really help the stretchiness too much, but it does make the texture feel a bit nicer. Before, it just felt really like weird and gross, but now it kind of feels nice and squishy. But we've still got the overactivating problem, so I'm really hoping that bit of water will fix that up. I just added a little splash of water to my half-cup measuring cup. Let's add it in. All right, now what's left to do now but mix it up and hope that the water solves my little problem. Okay, so my slime still feels kind of underactivated, but it's pretty stretchy for some reason. So the slime, like the texture does not feel great, but what matters for this contest is the stretchiness, and it's feeling pretty stretchy. However, before I take a picture of this for the contest, I want to add some food coloring because I think food coloring just makes slime so fun. So let's see what food coloring I should add. I've got some greens, my yellows, oh, so many colors, some reds, some blues. Oh man. Okay,